Well, welcome to Startup Grind.
Is that a standing ovation for
No,
you?
it's not for me, trust me.
Good for you.
Thanks for being
I've never
here.
had a standing ovation, didn't say anything.
What do they
Let's
usually,
just keep quiet.
What do they usually say when they stand for you and clap?
It's never happened before.
They usually scream. They're screaming usually, right? Run, run.
No screaming. We're not, this isn't Hollywood.
Thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
Closing out the show for us. We really appreciate it. Lots to talk about. We're going to get started.
You bet.
We're primarily here to talk about immigration, and would love to go through an array of different things. Very relevant topic. Lots going on at the moment. What would you like to see changed in the immigration system? Let's just start right there.
Well, before I do that,
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
can I tell you how I got passionate about immigration
That
reform?
would be great.
I've always cared about immigration reform, but there was a catalyzing event on a Sunday afternoon when Mark Zuckerberg called me. It was like 2 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon, like in the month of May. It was sunny and beautiful out. And he goes, "Hey, Ron, this is Mark." And I said to myself, it's Sunday at 2 o'clock. What the hell are you calling me for?
Does he call you a lot? I mean, is this a regular
No,
thing?
he does not
Okay,
call me
so
a lot. Now, I've known Mark since he's 19.
You were an early investor.
Early investor, and I like to think that I helped Facebook a lot.
Hey, you opened a lot of doors for him in the early days.
In the early days
Right.
is when SV Angel really gets involved. So I was like, no, I'm not doing anything. What have you got? We were on the phone for over an hour.
Huh.
And he said, "Hey, I'm really concerned about immigration." And I said, "Tell me about it." And he was doing volunteer work across the street from Facebook's headquarters. In fact, when Facebook moved to Menlo Park from Palo Alto, the big campus, I sent Mark and everyone at Facebook an email saying, "Your closest physical neighbor at your new Menlo Park office is the Boys and Girls Club of Menlo Park." How cool is that? It's not a house, it's not a restaurant, it's a place that does good work for kids. You know, your whole campus has good karma already. Sure enough, Mark never told me this, but he went over there as a volunteer. And he was teaching the kids after school. And one day at the end of class, he said, "Hey, raise your hand if you're going to college, and then everyone go around and tell me what college you're going to." A bunch of the kids didn't raise their hands. And he goes, "This is crazy." So he cornered them after and said, why didn't you raise your hand? And these kids all said, "Because we're illegal immigrants. We can't go to college." And that struck Mark more than anything. And that's why Mark and FWD.us, he was calling me to say, "I'm founding this organization. We have to do something about this." And I immediately said, "I am all in." The founders of, co-founders of FWD.us made, large donations and
Right, a lot of people did.
and got it off the ground. But it's such a cool story on how it got started. It didn't get started because tech companies want visas. FWD.us got started because Mark Zuckerberg knows these kids. He still knows these kids and gets together with them. Because Mark said, "My God, it's not fair for you not to be allowed to go to college in America."
Yeah.
Sorry for that, but
No, that's a great story.
that's how it
cool.
started.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you think?
So if Mark Zuckerberg calls you on a Sunday afternoon, let him
pick
talk.
up? Yeah, don't put him to voicemail.
Let him talk.
Do you think he's been? I mean, you'd have more visibility into this than us. Has he been pleased with the results? Is he satisfied with where we're at? Are you satisfied with the change that you've been able to make?
Absolutely not. We're actually dissatisfied, restless, frustrated, but not deterred. And that's why FWD.us right now has a whole ground campaign going on across the country.
What is that?
And we're basically building up organic support from the grassroots so that when we start to lobby again actively in Washington, we'll have an army of support. So Mark Zuckerberg is not a quitter.
Yeah.
And so FWD.us has been running in kind of in stealth mode.
Right. Well, come back to stealth mode, really,
But
right?
building the army.
Yeah.
Building the army, getting ready.
It kind of seems like one of these things, almost like a big product launch where it really came out huge and there were so many people involved. Like the list of people involved in FWD.us, it's insane. And then, you know, it seems like some things work, some things didn't work, and almost like, hey, they're kind of just trying to figure it out, learn how to, it's kind of navigate these tech guys, navigating Washington, navigating the legal system, navigating, you know, some very difficult, complicated issues, right?
Yeah, and we got it passed in the Senate, but not the House.
Yeah.
Lorene Powell Jobs is hugely involved in this issue, and we dovetail
Yeah.
all of our efforts.
Great. Well, so what change do you want to see? What should we see?
Well, you know, this issue, nothing has been done about immigration reform for a quarter of a century,
Yeah.
which is kind of terrifying. But in the comprehensive immigration reform that we want to propose, hopefully next year when there's a new president and a new Congress, you know, we need startup visas for entrepreneurs. We want to staple a green card to every immigrant who graduates from a U.S. college. We want to raise, thank you. We want to raise the H-1B cap, and we need a pathway of citizenship for the 11 million immigrants who are in America today. Remember, everyone in America are immigrants. I wish we could all march to Washington right now.
Very pro-immigration crowd.
Yes.
It's good. How does this affect America in the future, and how is it currently affecting us?
Well, right now it's negatively impacting us because the people who graduate from college are having to go back to their mother country, and the immigrants who stay here help create additional jobs. You know, for every engineer that is hired, there's another 3 support staff in a company. And so none of those people are getting hired either. It's fascinating that 28% of all the new startups in America are started by immigrants.
Tech startups.
Tech startups.
Yeah.
And that's versus 13% of immigrants in the population. So it's disproportionate. Immigrants are great founders.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life. Sergey Brin at Google.
Right.
You know, many examples.
It seems like the conversation there's a lot of conversation about really, you know, this very educated class, you know, who are these people that are going to contribute massive value? And it seems like originally, as you said, we're all immigrants. When our ancestors came to Ellis Island or wherever they came, you know, it was really about almost the rejected, the poor, the people who had no place in their home countries. Should immigration reform be for, you know, the most educated group, for this one, for startups? Should it be for everyone? How do you look at those two?
Well, the 11 million immigrants that are here.
Yeah, sure. Across the board.
Have to have a pathway to citizenship. And then the immigrants who are educated here, we're crazy to send them away. You know, we educated them. America has a demand for like 30,000 engineers a year, and our schools only produce like 9,000, something in that range. And so that shows how catastrophic the need is for America to be a leader in innovation. We have to keep these great minds in our country.
Tell us about some of the problems you've seen with our system as you've supported startups, as you've seen, you know, some of the dozens and dozens of companies that you've helped, hundreds of companies.
Yeah, the real tragedy is when when the CEO, and this has happened like 5 times, one of our CEOs says, I have to leave the country tonight because my visa has expired. I had hoped to get a permanent visa, but I didn't. And we have CEOs who can't even stay in the country with the rest of their team. That's the most catastrophic case. And that's when I really go to town with certain U.S. senators who actually help us out.
Yeah.
And go work these issues.
What do you make of all the Trump and, this kind of anti-immigrant rhetoric out there? Are you a fence or a wall guy? Do you have an opinion there?
Am I a what?
A fence or a wall guy?
Oh, no, I am not a fence or a wall guy.
Neither.
Neither. The borders look just fine to me. I think Trump, obviously has it all wrong, but he's winning. I think the American population is really frustrated with Washington, D.C., and the fact that the two extremists, Trump and
Cruz or Bernie?
Bernie Sanders. See, I don't even remember his name because he's a socialist.
We should have had you and Tim Draper.
Socialist in the White House.
We should have had you and Tim Draper speaking together. You guys would have
yeah.
You had a great.
No, but this is, America.
Right.
America is about capitalism.
Right.
Look at the great companies that the tech industry is building. Bernie
Right.
Sanders is not going to help that. But it shows the frustration with Washington right now that the two extremists would be making any progress whatsoever.
All the progress.
Yeah, it's crazy. It does make me want to say, Mike Bloomberg to the rescue.
Put your hat. No, put your hat in.
No,
we need
thank
Ron
you.
Conway for
no,
president.
Thank
is what
you.
I need.
I'm an advocate, not a.
Look, you got clout. We already got you like 20 votes.
No, thank you. I'm intrigued by Michael Bloomberg. He's in the right spot on gun safety, and he's definitely in the right spot on immigration reform, and he's a capitalist.
Well, seems what's happening in Washington. Everyone is digging in their heels, and it's like, who can go deeper? Who can go deeper? And so you've got these, and then none of these people will work together. It is incredibly frustrating.
Yeah, there's got to be some cooperation. It's frustrating to me on gun safety. I went to D.C. for a week 2 years ago, and I hadn't been to D.C. in like 15 years. And I left D.C. and I said, I think I'm in favor of term limits.
Yeah.
The problem is that's my God, is it changed to the Constitution? It's something really hard. Every state has to vote on it.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to shake up D.C.
Right.
Now, maybe the fact that Trump and Sanders are the candidates will
Maybe
shake
that'll
up
finally
D.C.
wake
Well, they'll
people
say,
up.
our behavior's been so bad.
Right.
This is how frustrated people
Right.
are.
Well, and this happens. It seems like now it's happening every 2 to 6 years, where the whole place gets turned over and whole different group comes in, and the same things happen each time. Steve Case, the founder of AOL, has said that 50 years ago, all the smartest people in America went into politics, but today the smartest people are all going into startups, and I don't know where that leaves the politicians, but
let's hope that some of our great founders do have political aspirations, because nothing would be better for this country if entrepreneurs someday would go into politics. I haven't found too many yet, but I'm hoping it happens. I think the frustration level is there.
How can people get involved? How can they? How can they be part of this?
Start by, how many people here, I can't see, but how many people here are registered to vote? I think I'm pretty shocked. I mean,
There's probably a lot of non-Americans non-U.S. citizens in here too, I would guess.
So how many non-U.S.? Okay, so that explains it. I feel better. But we need immigration
If you
reform.
can figure that out, I mean, maybe that's the problem. If we can get our friends in Malaysia to vote, we should be fine.
So number one, register to vote, and then I have a URL here
What if I don't like any of the candidates? Do I still vote? What would you do? Because I'm kind of feeling like that might be my situation.
Well, hey, the conventions haven't happened yet, so let's
Okay.
hope.
All right. I'll
Let's
be
hope the
optimistic.
American system
I'll be
produces.
optimistic for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm an eternal optimist. But go to FWD.us's website for immigration reform and sign up for our email list and that you're an advocate for immigration reform, FWD.us. And then we have a website called builtbyimmigrants.com that allows you to build a web page about your story of immigration. So there's 3 things. Register to vote and vote. That is 4 things. Register on the FWD.us website and tell your story on builtbyimmigrants.com. There's 4 things